Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Slowed and Reverb podcast. I'm Jonathan, one of the three members of this podcast, and joining me are the other two, my good friends, Richard and Brandon.
Hello, hello. COVID survivor Brandon here.
Hey everybody, vaccine getter Richard here.
All right, and we got a show for you guys today. We are reviewing the long-awaited for Brockhampton fans, the long-awaited return. Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine. This is brand new album, came out 2021. Just a few, I think, 2 weeks ago at this point, at the time of recording. But yeah, they're back. The boy band is back, and we're gonna give our thoughts on the album. You guys want to start with some broad, beginner thoughts, like maybe what you guys were expecting or something going into it? What do y'all think?
Well, for me, going into this album, there was a lot of weight on Brockhampton, at least in my opinion, because Ginger was an okay album, but I think the group has been lost ever since Amir was kicked out of the group. And going into this album, I expected a lot from them, and I expected a Iridescence vibe, their fourth studio album, because of the single. But yeah, I don't know, just had high expectations for this album.
Yeah, I will say the aesthetic of the single art and the first single made me think that this was going to be like Iridescence 2. Maybe a second entry into the Best Years of Our Lives trilogy that they started with Iridescence. But Buzzcut was really misleading for the whole album. I think it's not at all what I was expecting going into this. And over the summer of last year, Brockhampton was doing their technical difficulties radio show on Twitch, and I don't know. There was a lot of things that they teased there that I didn't make it onto this album, and there's a lot of things that they showed off there that's not here either. Besides Chain On, of course. But yeah, I don't know. This was definitely hard to read just based on their rollout.
Yeah. My expectations. I'm not the biggest Brockhampton fan. I thought Saturation was decent, and I don't think there's a single song off of Iridescence that I listened to at all. Um, I just did not like that album at all. And then Ginger had, I think, If You Pray Right was like the only one that kind of kept me coming back to it. Overall, I've just not been too heavily invested in Brockhampton like lots of my partners in crime here. Um, but I have kept my eye on them because they are fairly critically acclaimed. Their music isn't bad by any means. Um, and it's kind of cool to see, because these guys could be like any of us, making music with your friends that you met online. Like that's kind of relatable in a way. So it is nice to see their success in that respect. I came in, I heard the single Buzz Cut, and I was actually kind of excited. I really liked that song, and I was really excited to see what the whole album would be if that's what the single was like. With that, let's dive right in to Buzz Cut. That's the first song here. You guys want to start off, or?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start.
All right.
I think we touched briefly on this in one of the previous episodes, right? I don't remember which one it was,
We
but
talked about at the end of the I want to say the We Got It From Here episode, which
Yeah, it was that one.
yeah.
okay. Yeah, that sounded a bit right. Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on it haven't really changed, even with the context of the album. In fact, it kind of feels like Buzzcut stands out, but like I don't know if that's a good thing or not because it's like I said earlier, it's misleading for the rest of the album. Like it doesn't fit the mood of everything else later to me. I wish more of the Brockhampton members were on this song because it's like it's their intro, it's their time to get everybody back into the Brockhampton mood, but it's only Kevin and Danny, and then a little bit of Merlin and Joba and Bareface at the end, but nothing really crazy. Um, Danny Brown's verse, I think everybody can agree that he killed it. He did really well on this one, and it's probably the best part of the song. And in terms of production on this whole album, uh, I think it's probably some of their best production. This beat in particular is crazy. There was an Instagram live Kevin did a long time ago where he was playing around with uh, Merlin's verse off of Bleach, and he like mixed it over some Jay-Z beat, and that's how like the buzz cut beat came to be. But yeah, there's a whole lot of moments of just crazy production on this whole album and on Buzzcut especially.
Brandon, do you have any thoughts on this song?
Yeah, so I don't remember what I said exactly on the last episode of the podcast, but I really like the song. Danny Brown has I think he outshines Kevin on this track. His verse is really good. I like the production. Like Richard said, I also found out that it was like they sampled Merlin's voice off of Bleach or whatever. So I thought that was pretty cool. Production is really crazy. The song overall it comes in with high energy, and I also agree with Richard that it's misleading because like you don't really see that much. You don't see the same type of energy again in the album. I mean, maybe in like the later tracks, but for the most part, yeah, there's no other song on the album that's like remotely close to the high energy in this track. And I think it's a good intro, but not as in like when I think of an intro on a Brockhampton album, I think of like all the group members coming into like for example in Saturation One, you got verses from a lot of the members like Matt Champion, Kevin Abstract, I think Joba too. So I think this is a good like high energy intro, but like it's missing the Brockhampton aspect. It feels more like a intro to a Kevin album than a Brockhampton album. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, you guys raise a lot of good points. I'll give my thoughts now, I guess. I do think that overall, this song is a standout. I think this song is by far like leagues above any other song on this album. Because, spoiler alert, I didn't care for this one. But I think that this song is like really, really good. I love that production on it. I love how crazy it is. I love bringing in features because I mean that's mainly why I couldn't stand like Ginger or Iridescence. It was just Brockhampton and nothing else. And you'd assume a group with all those members would have enough like variety in their sound where they don't need the features. But they're just like, and it'll show later on that they kind of blend together in a way later on, other than like Merlin and Kevin. This does very much feel like a Kevin track. It does not feel like a Brockhampton track, which is kind of, in a way, exciting to me because I know that they're not going to be working together for long, right? This is one of their two last albums, apparently.
Yeah, their next album is going to come out sometime in 2021.
Yeah,
That's
and
their last.
I've liked Kevin's solo stuff, and if Kevin puts out stuff like this all the time, then he's gonna be by far the best member afterwards. Even outshining Amir, who I hold in high regard because he gave the Saturation trilogy that spice that it needed to stand out, in my opinion. But um, I like this track a lot, and I'm very very disappointed that it raised my expectations to that height, and then I hear the rest of it, and nothing on here sounds like that song. Nothing here comes close to it, in my opinion. And to have it as a lead single for one and the intro for another is kind of, like you guys said, misleading. It might have fit better as like a bonus track, even. Like it doesn't deserve to be on this track list because I don't think anything else on this album is close to it. But yeah, I don't know. It was very misleading, but overall, this is that's a phenomenal song right there. I guess we can move on from there to Chain On with Jpeg Mafia. I'll start because I'm already talking. I to be fair, this song isn't that bad. I don't mind this song, but to jump from Buzzcut, which had that like grand production and it's like in your face, you hear like 10 million sounds at a time and it sounds great together, to I think a little bit more of a, at least comparatively, minimal beat. And it's a tad more laid back too, in energy wise, which is Jpeg Mafia. While I like his verse, he sticks out like a sore thumb on it. I don't care for the beat with Jpeg Mafia. I wish he was on a more in your face type thing like Buzzcut, to be honest. And again, this song isn't necessarily bad. It's just like it leaves something to be desired, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I could just I don't know. I could be wrong or something. What are your guys' thoughts?
No, I pretty much agree. But this is one of my favorite tracks. Simply because I heard this during like the technical difficulties era, and hearing JPEG Mafia collab with Brockhampton was like really rare. It was like wow. And I think they changed the mixing because in the original he sounded a bit more energetic. I don't know if it's because of the mixing or whatever. Um, but yeah, I wish he was, like you said, on a more like in your face type beat, because JPEG Mafia is one of those experimental artists, and I've heard him on crazier beats. I've heard him on like more in your face type beats, like on Veteran and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it was a nice collab, but for the most part, this song is okay. Um, Dom's verse is it's whatever. It's pretty long too. I didn't care for it too much though. But yeah,
Yeah, I thought Dom was a weird pairing. To be fair, with JPEG,
yeah, they
I would
didn't.
have preferred like a Matt Champion here. Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they bounced off each other too good.
Also, I do have to say, I'm a big Wu-Tang Clan fan, and I had no that the little sample at the end for of Cream made no sense to me. I don't know. It felt like it was just shoehorned in as like a fanfic like moment, in my opinion.
Well, in the original song during the technical difficulties era, it led into a different song. So it was like a transition into the next song, but like they failed to include that with like they didn't even try to make it transition into Count on Me. It just like I don't know, it was just there at the end.
They just cut it off.
Yeah, exactly.
They went into Audacity and just like trimmed it off.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like you guys touched on like some of the problems that I have with the song. Like Dom's verse, I actually think it's fine, but it just feels tacked on. And I think it's because I've already heard the song. Other people have probably already heard this too during the TD era. To more casual fans, they probably haven't heard it. but as someone who already has, this doesn't feel exciting to me because I've already heard this JPEG verse. I've heard Kevin's chorus. The only new thing is Dom, but that feels tacked on because it wasn't part of the original song. So just it doesn't hit as hard here than when it first came out over the summer last year. And I wish that they had collaborated on a different track with JPEG. I wish it was a new verse instead of something that we got last summer. He probably could have gone on Buzzcut too, but yeah, I don't know. It's fine, but I just feel like disappointed because me and Brandon have already heard it before, so it's like it's not something new here. Though I guess that does sound pretty hypocritical because I was excited to see Bankroll on there, but I guess it's different because Bankroll was a snippet and this is a full song.
I have my thoughts about Bankroll later.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, let's go from that into Count on Me then. Brandon, you want to start us off?
Yeah. I want to say that I was caught off guard by the ASAP Rocky feature because I don't think it on Spotify it shows him listed as a feature for this song. So I was caught off guard by that. I think Rocky's verse is really nice. I think the song's okay. I've seen it on I think TikTok a lot. So I guess this is like the TikTok song or whatever. Like if you're gonna use one song off of this album, to like go viral or something, I would use this one. Yeah. There nothing stood out on this track. I just like Rocky's verse. Matt was pretty good on this song too. The production's okay. I think Shawn Mendes is on this too.
Really?
He's on the
Yeah.
chorus. Yeah, he's on the chorus, but there's 4 different people on the chorus, so I
Yeah,
mean,
I
you
don't
can't
even
even
know
really
who
tell.
That's interesting. But yeah, for the most part, it's whatever song. I like Rocky's part and I like Matt Champion's part. That's it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think that Matt especially. I think Matt has shown he's really stood out this album to me over any of the other members in my opinion. But his verse here is pretty decent. And it was cool to hear Rocky because I wasn't expecting it to. But overall, this is one of the stronger tracks on the album in my opinion. But even then, it falls short. I don't know. There's something about it. I can't quite put words to it of why it just feels kind of hollow to me, but it does. And I guess this would be the more poppier hit on the album. That makes sense. But I don't know. Richard, what do you think about this one?
I mean, yeah, this is kind of like TikTok bait. I so I didn't listen myself, so I can't verify, but apparently the Rocky beat or the Rocky verse was apparently on an older cut of Bankroll. And they just like put it here. So I don't know. I kind of wish that he wasn't on this song. I don't know why they shoehorned him in here.
Okay.
What were you gonna say, Brandon?
So is that what happened? They cut his verse from Bankroll and just put it on this track?
Well, I mean, he's had a couple different. I mean, from the snippet
Yeah, there's a
from
lot
the
of
Iridescence tour. Yeah, there was the Oil Tycoon verse. There's this one, I think. So yeah, I mean, he had there. I'm sure this song went through like a bunch, or Bankroll went through a bunch of different revisions, but yeah, this verse was tacked on here, which is I mean, it fits okay, I guess, but I don't know. I think it would have been fine on Bankroll. I think Jabari, this is like his first debut on like an actual Brockhampton album. Typically, he did production for him in the past. He's part of the group, but this is like his first vocal performance for the group on an actual album. And I think he did pretty good. I think he does real well on this album, personally. I So Gone So Flexy. He is a member of Video Store, which is Kevin Abstract and Romil's record label that they started. He's on 2 tracks on this album, and I don't think he does a good job on either. I'm just not a fan. And yeah, Matt's verse is like fun here. It's nice. It's chill. Fits the song. But it's not. I don't know. Like I think when the single came out, like I was okay, but listening to like the whole album, it just doesn't. I don't know. Doesn't sit right with me. There's a lot. There's a lot of songs that do what Count on Me is doing like better. So it just I don't know. Doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like it belongs on the track list almost.
Yeah, I have to agree with you about So Gone So Flexy. I don't know why he was here, to be honest. It did not he did not strike me as an artist to look out for through these features. Um but I guess we can move forward
Yeah.
to the widely anticipated I'm Bankroll.
Yep.
I didn't know it was widely into. I never heard of this song before, but I don't follow this group as closely as most apparently.
Right.
What do you guys think on it? Since you guys have that kind of connection, you guys knew that this was a song to look out for. You've probably heard the snippet before or something.
Yeah, so the snippet came out during the Iridescence tour time. That's like there was an announcement video and they previewed the snippet and everyone went crazy for it. And they just kept harassing, all the members for it and wanting to know when Bankroll came out or was coming. And people thought it was scrapped for the longest time, and then it finally showed up on the leaked track list. And I think the song actually a couple times in the past, but in different versions, of course. And now we're finally here. I think that I've never listened to ASAP Ferg before. So I was a little annoyed that I was annoyed that he was on this because that meant that I guess that means that Rocky doesn't get a verse. He just gets the pre-chorus and the chorus. But Ferg and Merlin at the beginning are pretty nice together. They have kind of like that same tone. So that was cool to see. I mean, that chorus is what got everybody hyped up in the beginning with Merlin and Rocky, and that is just, it's perfect. I think Matt was a good addition too. I was kind of turned off by it at first because it was just so new. Like having listened to that snippet for so long, and just hearing one version of it makes any new addition seem weird. But Matt, I think Matt added to it really well. Like I said before, I wish Rocky had a verse, like his old verse, the Oil Tycoon verse, or even the Konami verse on this, but it's whatever. Jabari at the end, I like his verse. It's pretty smooth. I saw some people say that they should have swapped his verse for an ASAP Rocky verse, and like I kind of agree, but I don't dislike Jabari's verse at the end at all. The one thing I do hate about the song though is like the slowdown at the end. I don't know why they did that because it doesn't even transition nicely to the light. It's like they didn't know how to end the song, so they just put an effect at the end of it.
I think you hit the nail on the coffin there that they really don't know how to end songs. They'll put like a random sample at the end, or they'll like slow it down, or like they'll have like a really good high energy track, and then they'll just transition to something like more calmer. Like in the first song, Buzzcut. It's just
Yeah.
like why not keep that momentum going and like I don't know, just find a better way to transition instead of like taking the easy route, just adding like a random sample at the end or I don't know. That's one thing that I've noticed is that they really don't know how to end a track sometimes.
Sometimes they don't even know how to like flesh it out entirely. They'll come up with a catchy hook, but they don't know how to play around it.
hmm but I guess I'll say my thoughts about the song. I'm a big fan of ASAP Rocky, you know, all that stuff. But it was really disappointing to see because you know I heard the snippets and stuff, and it was disappointing to see that you know Rocky didn't get a verse on this track because I think he would have stood out from all the other members. I think um I didn't really like Merlin on this track too much. Um when they're doing the when he's doing the chorus with Rocky, he doesn't come off with too much energy. Um you know, compared to other Merlin uh tracks, you know. I think Matt Champion is a great addition to the song though. I really like even though he's only here for the chorus, I don't know, I found his chorus catchy. Ferg's verse is whatever. Jabari's verse is whatever. I think the beat is really like I don't know what's the word like shallow. Like I don't know. It's just there's something missing in the beat. Um, but yeah, overall I didn't like this track too much. Like I think it could have been way better. And maybe that's just me because I spoiled myself with the snippets and stuff, and you know expecting more. But like at the same time, you know, like I should be expecting more. Yeah, what are your thoughts, Jonathan?
Yeah, so I never heard the snippet before. Um, and I've you know, I'm not connected to Brockhampton much, but this song, uh, with the exception of one other on the track list, this is like the last good song on here in my opinion. There's one coming up, but I mean, this was like the beginning of the end in my opinion. Because I really liked Ferg and Merlin's chemistry. I'm really biased to like ASAP Ferg personally, so I'm fine with him like taking the spotlight, and I'm glad that they gave it to him because I don't know, he's always been the actual standout member of ASAP in my opinion. Although I do like Rocky, um, but I really like their chemistry there at the beginning. Um, I do wish Rocky had an actual verse. I like uh I like Merlin on here a lot. Merlin and Matt are like the only members that I really care about on this album, other than Kevin's first verse on uh Buzzcut. But like I really like Merlin on here. I think he synergizes well with the beat and with the features. As for Jabari, I could care less for that verse. They could have just not included that verse and the song would have been probably just as good, if not better, to be honest. But overall, I mean, I don't have it in such high esteem because I wasn't exposed to it at all. So I think it turned out pretty well. And again, I'm happy that they're bringing in features now because goodness gracious, it was so boring on Ginger just hearing them all the time. uh, but again, I mean, this is one of other than spoiler alert, Windows. Other than Windows, like this is the last good song on the album for me. Um, but yeah, overall, just pretty all right. Even it being like one of the better songs on the album, it doesn't really it doesn't make me want to come back to it. I do think what you said, Brandon, about the beat kind of being hollow or shallow or whatever you said, that makes a lot of sense because again, it leaves something to be desired. It feels like most of the songs on here have an idea. They have a theme. They have something that they want, but it just doesn't quite get to like what it's trying to do, in my opinion. And this is probably the biggest example of that. I don't know, but it is funny how you guys bring up the outros because
Mhm.
I mean, I don't. From my understanding, these guys met on Kanye too, though, right? The music
Yeah, yeah.
forum. So these guys are kind of, in a way, amateurs that just kind of found themselves in a popular light after a Fantano review. So I can kind of understand and sympathize with them not knowing how to properly end a track because it's not like we're getting, you know, mastered production from like a DJ Premier or something. Uh, but on the other hand, it does just leave a lot to be desired, and that's going to be my main criticism on most of the songs coming up. But yeah, I think we can move on from here.
Yeah.
So the next one is The Light, which was kind of the first deep cut and kind of almost a transition to the second half, but I feel like if you swapped Windows and The Light, it would have been a lot better in my opinion. But what do you guys think on this one?
For some reason, this song reminded me of Sonic 06.
Why?
uh, I don't know. I think it was the guitar mostly. I don't know, but I don't know. I like the song. Right? It's I like the production on this song. I really like Joba's verse. I think it's really deep, personal. Um, for someone so reserved, to put out a verse like that, I think I think it was nice. I think he outshines Kevin on this track. Kevin's verse is okay. I don't want to say it's forgettable, but it's like just it's just there. But yeah, I mainly like this track for Joba. I think Joba did really well on this track, and I like the production.
Yeah, Joba's definitely the standout here. And I mean, during the during while Brockhampton worked on this album, Joba's dad had uh committed suicide, and so that really kind of started a whole like reworking of the album for them. And you know, I think after Iridescence, Joba had really fallen off. And I think, I don't know, some of his Iridescence work wasn't that great, but he really didn't do so hot on Ginger. And I think his work on Roadrunner is probably his best in a long time, which sucks because like it it's terrible that tragedy like caused him to like bring this out. Um but yeah, his verse is just devastating. It uh I mean that's the whole song, this song is for him, and he does a really great job on the song. Kevin, my one my one complaint with this song is with his verse. The issue I face with Brockhampton is Kevin seems to be at the forefront of like a lot of it. I mean, and it makes sense because he's like the leader. But with Kevin being the most vocal one, we've already heard a lot of his issues already. In previous tracks and previous albums, he talks about the RCA deal, selling his soul, his relationship with his mom. Things really haven't changed for him, and obviously in the 4-year span of their career, I mean, how much will really change, especially when the RCA deal was only 3 years ago at this point. So it's like I wish someone else was on this track because I want to know what they're feeling. I already know what Kevin's feeling. He's the most vocal member out there. But I mean, I think overall it's a good, deep, introspective track on both of their lives.
Yeah. I'm gonna come in here and I think I don't know. Most of my issues on most of the songs here, which you're probably gonna hear this like 80 more times tonight, but again, it feels like that they have something, right? But they're just not quite there. Like the beat here or the instrumental, whatever you would call it, it has that vibe. It has that tone that it's trying to set, but it's just not quite there yet. I can't. Everything here just seems like it falls short. I like Joba's verse. I like that he's getting introspective, but even then, like I don't know, his delivery is lacking in my opinion. His lyrics leave something more that you don't get. And while I appreciate his feelings and while I understand what he's trying to portray here, I feel like as a song, it just doesn't come together. And I think scrap Kevin's verse altogether. To be honest, take it off this song, make it about Joba, make it about him. That would just make it a much more powerful of a moment if it's just Joba, you know? Forcing Kevin on here, like, yeah, like you said, we've heard from him. This is deep. This is powerful stuff. Let him speak. Don't butt in with your problems in a way, you know? I don't know. And, like, I like the guitars. I like it, but it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't quite work. It, like, almost works, and it almost is good, but then it's just not. I can't explain it. And it's like that for most of the songs on this album, and it drives me crazy because like I hear it. I hear what is almost there, but it's not. Overall, I mean, this song isn't bad. This is probably upper end of the album. Um, I don't much care for it, but I can recognize that it's you know it's a strong track on the track list. But goodness gracious, take Kevin off.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that I feel like Kevin gets a lot of the spotlight, but it makes sense. He's the leader, but like still, like
I
we've
hate the
heard.
leader dynamic. I don't know.
Yeah,
If
like
you imagine if Outcast, where one of them was like, "No, I'm the leader." Like, imagine Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, yeah, there's more popular members on the Wu-Tang Clan, but like, no, none of them are like. Well, I guess RZA's kind of the de facto leader, but he's like the producer mostly, so it kind of makes sense for him to lead. But even then, like, gosh, just get off the song, man. Let him do his thing. He's going through a hard time. Let him vent on this track. But yeah, I don't know. That's why the whole boy band aesthetic I've never found that appealing at all in my opinion.
it doesn't even fit them because like a boy band, you have every member like on the song. So I don't know. I just feel like I agree. This could have been like a Joba track. But yeah, just scrap Kevin off of this.
All right. Well, we can go to Windows, and I can start here if you guys want.
Go for it. This seems to be the one song you're gonna have a good opinion over, or not a good opinion, but like a nice opinion on, I should say.
Yeah, this song I really enjoyed it. I don't know why. The beat is beautiful in my opinion. I really like the production here. I could deal without So Gone So Flexy. But Matt on here is beautiful. That verse is really good. I don't know. And it might be the inner DVD player, but I like the Freddy line. Uh, I really like Matt's verse here. It's very nice. Dom's pretty good on here too, I think. Um, and Jabari actually comes through on this track, I think, which he didn't for the earlier tracks for me at least. Joba's great on here too. Uh, I like his energy a lot, and overall, goodness, how many members are on this song? Like, it just now hit me that the most of them are on here, and that might be why this song works. Um, you have so many different voices and like lines on here that it all flows so well. You know, I don't know. This feels like a proper Brockhampton track in my opinion, and I think this is one of the few songs on here that took their idea and actually got it to where it was supposed to be. Um, I really like all the changes that they go through, all the different members getting their word in, and sonically it sounds great. But yeah, this is the last track that wowed me in my opinion. After this, I think the track list went straight down into the gutter, and you'll find out later one song that I just actually just can't stand. But yeah, I really like their. This feels like a proper group. You know, they go together well here, and it makes me wonder, like, because they're breaking up. You can only assume that they have some internal problems. Makes you wonder if this was like the song that they did before those problems happened, because they don't. I don't know. They just work here. You get what I'm saying? What do you guys think?
I'll let Richard go. I've gone second a lot.
Well, to touch on your point about them having internal problems, I don't think it's that at all, really. I think it's just Kevin said himself that he just wants to let people be able to do their own thing, and I guess if you're stuck in a group for well, it's been like 4 years, I think, since saturation. Um, but you're stuck in this group and you're stuck in this record label contract deal that they're with RCA. I'm sure each member wants to do something different. Um,
Yeah, it
so
makes
I don't
sense.
know. I don't know if they're because I mean, like I mentioned before, Kevin and Romil have video store. Uh, so they probably want to focus more on that. And I mean, I don't know. Everyone is like everyone's so like shy and like reserved. I can't imagine anyone else, like any other member, doing something like releasing a project themselves, honestly. But going back to your point about this feeling like a Brockhampton song, I mean, yeah, I was listening to Saturation 2 over the weekend, and I mean, the most the songs had a lot of the members on them. It wasn't just like it wasn't only Kevin and Dom. It was quite a few of them. Junkie had Kevin, it had Joba, it had Matt, it had Amir, it had Dom. It did I say Merlin already? It had Merlin too, but it had everybody. It and it's just like it just sucks that they're kind of they're not really doing that so much anymore. And Windows is like a good they still have that chemistry together. So I don't know. I guess they're just not really driven to make those like group cuts anymore. But in terms of the song, yeah, Flexi should not be on here. He didn't really add much to the song. Every other Brockhampton member kills it. Merlin Merlin is such a great contrast to everybody else. He really shined on here. Yeah, that Freddy line as a DVD player myself. Yeah, I crashed my car when I heard that. I got so mad. But but yeah, everybody just sounds great here. If I had to say one bad thing. I have a couple actually. I'm not a big fan of the chorus. I know Jabari is on that, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it, and I think the song runs on a bit too long, in my opinion. But I guess with everybody on there, it's like, how can you fit it into something shorter than it already is?
All right, I think I've come up with a solution for everyone's problems here. We cut off So Gone So Flexy, which shortens the song. And then we just start with the chorus, Jabari's chorus. Yeah, I pretty much agree with you guys. I think, apart from the chorus part, I think Jabari is whatever. But yeah, I remembered the livers. I'm surprised you guys haven't talked about Bareface a lot, because Bareface is one of those members that I want to say makes like rare appearances on projects. Even though he's like a member, I don't think he's too heavily present on like a lot of tracks. Like I'm trying to think, and like
He's been more involved since Amir left, but I don't think he's like on Roadrunner especially. He's not on a lot, and if he is, he's on short.
yeah,
It's short appearances. He was on Iridescence and Ginger quite a bit though, for sure.
yeah, it's really Bareface is always one of the members that I always want to hear more of, and I really like his verse on this track. I like the production for his verse, and I don't know how to explain it, but it's like head bob type of thing, like smooth head bobs. But yeah, the song's okay. I mainly like the second half. I like Bareface's part more than the other parts, but I think every member delivers. Apart from So Gone So Flexy, you can just cut off his verse and intro to shorten the song. But yeah,
All right. Well, we can move on to the next one. I'll take you on. You guys want to go first for this one?
Yeah, I'll go because I actually really love this song. It's one of the best in my opinion. It's similar to the title track off of Ginger, but it's a lot better. I think it accomplishes what it needs to here. It's just smooth, catchy. It's just like, I don't know. It's such like an earworm. It's just, I love it. You can really groove to it. Matt, Joba, and Bareface are all really perfect on this song because they all have that like smooth, like silky, like vocal performance, especially Bareface. Bareface's verse is just so wonderful to me because I mean I am a Bareface fan. I do like hearing him on Brockhampton stuff, and I want to hear more from him. And his verse was really nice to hear. But this whole song, yeah, it's just really sweet, really nice. I love it a lot.
yeah. I think there were two songs on this. I hate using that word, but TikTok songs, and this one would probably be because I saw it on a TikTok or whatever. Which deserves it because it's catchy. It's like what Richard said. It's catchy, groovy, whatever. Um, I really like Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson has been um one that I'm not like too like I want to say like too knowledgeable of, but he's a familiar name that I see in like a lot of songs I listen to, and I think he always delivers really good. Um, yeah, the song's catchy. Um, I won't lie, like it's catchy. I've caught myself like humming to it. I like Mad Champion on this track. I really like Bareface. Love Bareface. But yeah, I'm excited to listen to Jonathan's criticism.
Y'all about to hate me.
All right, what's up?
I think the song is boring.
How?
Every time it came on, I've listened to this album like 6 times like in the past 2 weeks preparing for this, which but every time this song comes on, I feel myself zoning out and ignoring it. It just my brain does not want to listen to this. I like I get that it's trying to be like a smoother, bouncy track, but I feel like there are just 10 billion different artists that do it way better than these guys. This song is just boring. I can't explain it in any other way. I I don't care for the beat. It sounds like a generic bouncy beat.
I think
The
that's what it is. It does sound pretty generic.
the only saving grace this song has is Charlie Wilson, and but the other members cannot keep up, and it sounds so. They just kind of fade into that awful instrumental, and then my eyes glaze over, and I find myself like, oh, when's the next song? When is it? And it drags on and on and on and on and on, and it's like, come on, how long is this song? And it's like 4 minutes. Yeah, it's like 4 minutes. It does not need to be no 4 minutes. Shorten it down to 2.5. Goodness,
No,
man.
it needs to be 5. You're right.
No, it is so boring. I don't like this song at all.
No, it needs to be slowed down and reverb. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
But yeah, no, this song, as soon as it went from Windows to this, because I was already kind of iffy on the album, as soon as it went to this song, I was like, okay, this is where this album stops being good, huh? And then I was right. It's like from here on out, it just sounds so samey, kind of generic, kind of boring. And goodness, this song is not good. I do not like this song. It is so boring. It's hard to make a song with such a nice bass line so boring, but they manage. They manage. I don't know. Y'all got any thoughts on that? Am I dead wrong?
No, I will say it does sound pretty generic. And like, yeah, there's probably artists that do this way better, but I still like it, you know.
All right. Well, let's move on from that one, please. Go to old news. What do you guys think?
All right, I'm gonna start this off because I think this is my favorite song on the album.
Really?
I don't know. I really like Javari's chorus. It's catchy for me. I remember I remember on my first listen, this is the song that I came back to a lot. I really like Matt Champion's verse. Um who's the one that I think it's him where he's like, yeah, for some reason that line like just sticks out. How you say you don't love me like you used to, like that song just that line is just stuck in my head forever. Um I like Merlin's verse too. Baird, is that how you pronounce it, Baird? I have no idea who this guy is, but he was okay. Um yeah, I don't know. The song's catchy. It stuck with me. I think I like it mostly for the Mad Champion part. I think he absolutely killed it on this song. And Jabari's course, I think out of all of Jabari's parts in the album, I think this is his best performance. And yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you that this is Jabari's probably best show on this album. This song wasn't as bad as most of the rest of the album. I'll give you that. I find that instrumental just to drone on. I don't know. I do not like their more smoother stuff at all. But Jabari, he makes it a little catchy at least. And I really, again, Matt Champion just showed up on this album for me. I don't know why. Um, I've never been a big fan of Joba at all, and I could do without him here. But other than that, I mean, this is okay. I guess it's not my favorite. I don't know. Again, it just feels kind of lacking, kind of almost like soulless in a way. Like they don't have as strong of an energy as they once did, in my opinion. It just doesn't work. What do you think, Richard?
I think I mean I like the song for the most part. I will say that I absolutely hate Baird's verse on this. It's just off topic, just completely off topic. Everybody else is talking about love, and he has two lines about it, and most of it is about being on tour. Like, who cares? Why are you writing something completely off base for what the song is about? I don't know. It just takes me out of it for sure. But Matt, Merlin, Joba, they fit like this type of song, like this type of song about relationships and love. And Jabari, of course, did great here as well. So it was good, but every single time Baird's verse comes on, I'm just like, why? Why did he write this instead of something else?
I could cut it off. Yeah, I would cut it off.
Well, any other thoughts before we move on to the next song?
Next song is a sleeper.
Man,
Dude,
really?
no. If you take everything that I said about the last song and like triple it for what's the occasion, like goodness, this song. And I've liked Matt on every song to this point, and here I just can't be bothered. Like
Yeah.
I could put this on when I have insomnia or something, and it would probably cure it. Like goodness.
Oh my god.
No, like this is by far the worst song of this whole album.
I
No,
think
no,
it's the
no.
worst song.
Maybe a second word. There's one song that just irks me to no end that you'll see when we get to it. But
Oh
I'm
no.
really scared.
yeah, this is actually soulless. I can't stand Joba on this at all. Anything that he does on this song is not good. I'm sorry, but I cannot vibe with this at all. This might be the antithesis to me, you know? I don't know. It's so boring. Oh man. What do you guys what does Richard think? Apparently he disagrees.
Man, you guys. I mean, this song, I know you guys say it's a sleeper, but it's like, it's a depressing song, you know? This guy's, it's
Then
talking
make it
about,
depressing and not boring. You could
it's
make depressing music
depressing.
and it's
It's
so boring.
depressing. Okay. Well, I mean, it's opinion, you know? To me, it's not boring. I quite enjoy it. And, I have something written down, and I know you're gonna hate me for it because
No, let us hear it.
no, I know. I was gonna say it anyway, but I feel good saying it now. So, like, they mentioned that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was like an inspiration for this album, and like I think at the end with like the guitars bleeding into the vocals, I think that's where I like see it the most in this song or in the album, I guess.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's like a wannabe Mike Dean sound. You're right. But
uh,
gosh, does it not deliver? Oh man. All right, continue.
no, I mean that's basically it. Like it's sad, it's gloomy. It's like it's a depression song, and I'm okay with it. I think it's nice.
I just think Matt's verse just doesn't fit on the instrumental. Something's, I don't know. This song is whatever. Like, I think this is the worst track on the entire album. Yeah, don't like it. And Jova's chorus is so like, I don't know. I just doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth, but auditory.
No, yeah. I don't care for Joba much at all. I haven't since was it 1999 Wildfire? His verse on that just is actually disgusting. I can't stand his delivery.
No,
Okay,
those tracks are super forgettable.
Yeah, I forgot. No, 1998. Truman was really good. I thought.
Truman wasn't bad, and I kind of like Diana too. But Wildfire, like Joba on that, ever since that verse, every time he comes on, I kind of groan. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, I think that's where it started for me too.
I don't know. But then they gave him a whole song to be boring on, and kind of put Matt in there, so they're like, maybe they'll forget how boring he is if we put Matt on here. But it doesn't work. I don't know. This song is not it, Chief.
Please tell me you have something nice to say for When I Ball. That's the next song.
That's a sleeper for me too, bro.
No
I didn't like
way.
that song.
No way you guys hate When I Ball.
It's not that good.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
When I heard the 4 count at the beginning, I was like, oh my god, no way did they get Pharrell to produce this one. And I was right, they didn't. It's actually Chad Hugo of the Neptunes who produced this one. But
I was about to say, what the fuck was this for?
it's but I love it. It's bright and cheery, and you know, I love Dom and Matt's verse about growing up, and like that whole the whole song really just about growing up, and that chorus and the verses and everything just fit.
You like that
So,
chorus?
Yeah, I love that
Ugh.
chorus.
No.
I
That
love that
chorus
chorus.
is disgusting. That high pitched garbage does not belong here at all.
Oh my god.
It sounds like whining, bro. It's
Man.
Brandon, you want to go first before I destroy it?
I didn't like it, bro. And then fucking Joba, he like, here I go, it's just my ring. Like, I don't like this song.
Oh my god.
I didn't like this song, bro.
This
This
is so
is sleeper.
sad.
No, I'm telling you, they used up the entire band's energy on Buzzcut, and it's just like, this is when the band was asleep. They made these songs. No, this song is so boring. It's the beat is not good. It's so that chorus. Oh my gosh, I can't stand that chorus. It literally sounds like children whining in your ear. Like, gosh. But hey, we don't have to agree. We don't have to.
We don't have to agree. That's
All right.
right.
The song could be trash and you can like it, Richard. You're good. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
I listen to Smoke Perp, so you know.
Smoke burp.
That's
All right.
what we're reviewing next. Dead Star 2.
Come on, guys. Don't shoot up my party now, okay?
Yeah, that's what we're getting to. This song might be my least favorite.
You have gotta be joking.
Really?
No,
I gotta take a walk.
This song is the biggest like stretch garbage I've ever. Like, who is the intended audience for this song? Whose mind do they think they're changing by saying don't shoot people, guys? What?
Oh my god.
Why? This song is stupid. I don't get it.
I mean, it's catchy, but like, okay, I will say
I'll
though,
give you that it's
Joe's
like
verse on this song is absolutely garbage. But he's like, "What's the issue? Don't grab that pistol." Like, what the fuck?
Dude, I hated that part. I hate this song. The song came on, I was like, okay, the beat's kind of neat. His what does he say? Why is he saying these words? What? Like those were the exact thoughts going through my mind while listening to this. This song's like their target demographic is what are they gonna think? Oh yeah, shootings is bad. What? Who thinks shooting's good? What? Like, Why do they need to target shootings? I don't understand. Like, I don't know. The subject matter for this song just got me so disassociated from the music that I can't concentrate on it. And the beat is alright. I'll give you the beat's alright. And I think Kevin, he's good at those little, like, jazzy, like, pop choruses. And he does a good job of delivery here. But overall, I do not give a crap what these guys are saying. I do not give a single crap about what they're saying at all. And the worst part is, like, some of these lines have nothing to do with the overall theme of the song. It's like my critique before of them, like, finding a concept and just not making it. They didn't even try on this song, I feel like. Except for Joba, and then what's the issue? Like, it sounds so bad. I don't know. I do not know what they were thinking with this song. And they keep referencing it on Twitter and, like, acting like it's some big revolutionary hit. And it's like, what?
We did it, guys. We stopped violence.
There will never be another shooting now because they made Don't Shoot Up the Party. And it's like they're begging for their lives when they're, like, in the recording booth. I don't get it. I don't get this song. Am I just stupid? Is it going over my head?
I will say, I think I'm clowning on it too much because there's a lot of songs out there that, like, have this similar topic, but I just think they don't deliver that well. They don't deliver the message that well.
What
And
does
that's the reason
NSYNC
why.
have to do with shootings?
Yeah, that too.
What does any of this have to do with shootings? I don't get it.
Yeah, it is pretty out of place. But yeah, I don't like this song. Like it has the energy, but it's just like, why?
It's misplaced energy. Like we finally get another track where they're kind of like getting back into their groove, and the subject matter is so dumb that I can't even focus on it. Like, I can't even comment on the energy because I'm just too focused on how stupid the song is. I don't know. That might be my hottest take tonight, but I cannot stand this song. This song is actually bad. I never want to hear this again.
Alright, let me get Groovy Bot in here.
Man, you guys are really tearing this song up for no reason. This is an absolute banger. I mean,
You need to listen to more bangers.
The beat goes crazy. Kevin's delivery in the first verse is great. Don't shoot up the party. I mean, I know obviously you have, Kevin is a gay man. I think in Florida years ago there was like the Pulse nightclub shooting. So I feel like and I don't remember, was it like primarily for like gay people?
It was a gay bar that got shot up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like I feel like it's a reference to that, and that's probably something that's very personal to him, considering people, gay people are more accepted now, but they're not. I mean, stuff like that still happens. It's still prevalent. They're not trying to like convert anybody. It's just more of like, that kind of anthem. And I think it's also like, it's not just, it's not just an anthem to like stop shootings, but it's also like, don't kill my vibe. It's another way of saying that, is what I got out of it as well. Matt's verse on here is really nice too. He always, on this whole album, he's done really well. I don't like the bridge where they're like, "Stay down, I'm sorry." I don't know what that is about. Joba's verse, I agree that it feels out of place here, but at the same time, it's like I kind of get it, because like his father shot himself, and so he's trying to like, with "Don't shoot up the party," like don't shoot up. I mean, like don't kill yourself. Think about who's gonna miss you, and the whole nobody really knows what you're going through when you have suicidal thoughts like that. It's just I get that, but I do agree that it kind of feels out of place. uh, like in terms of sound. I really love the outro when they, when they're doing that chorus again, and it cuts out with like this like laser sound, with this laser gunshot sound, and then just the beat just goes crazy. I think I think this song's great. I think it's an absolute banger.
To each their own. I don't know. If it is about the nightclub shooting, I still think there are better ways to present. Like even what was that? Eminem had that one song about the country, the Vegas shooting, which was a lot more introspective and like well handled. This feels, I don't know. It feels so empty of any substance, and the substance it has, it doesn't feel like it's tackling the subject at all. I don't know. I can't stand this song, but I mean, I'm glad you got something out of it at least.
I will say I didn't think of Jova's verse like that. With the it completely went over my head. But I think that's why it went over my head was because it was poorly delivered. The verse it just doesn't fit.
Yeah, it's a bit out of place for sure.
But yeah.
All right. Well, we can move on to Dear Lord. Kind of a interlude type thing from Bareface, which was nice, I guess.
That I put Jesus as king, right?
Do you guys have any strong thoughts other than, all right, it's kind of there?
I was really excited for a Bareface centric track, but I was I was so let down. It's just the song is just really bare bones, which I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's like a gospel type song, but it's just I don't know, it just feels so weak. And like towards the end, it sounds like they peaked the mic. It's just so loud. I don't know. Just unnecessary. Doesn't really add much to the album, really.
All right. Brandon, any thoughts?
Where's the Kanye feature? No, I'm kidding. I think it's an okay interlude. Pretty forgettable though, because it's I don't know. Like I know I was hyping up Bareface earlier, but I don't know. There's not much going on in this track. It's just a gospel type
Yeah,
song.
I appreciate the thought. Like, I'm glad they gave Bareface something, and it is kind of introspective and nice. But overall, like, are you gonna go listen to a 2 minute interlude of him singing? No, not really. I don't know. Um, let's just move on to the last track, wrap things up, and give our final thoughts. The Light Part 2. I guess I'll start. I'm not gonna be as, I'm not gonna tear into this song as hard as the last few. Because overall, I think, again, you know, they had their idea and they went for it. I don't think it quite reached the level of impact to touch me in any meaningful way, or to get me on to like sympathize with. I mean, I sympathize, but like, how do I word this? It just didn't really impact me as much. Um, I did appreciate the more stripped back beat because you give the vocalists a little more shine in that regard, and not having it be as loud and in your face. It's nice to hear them. Again, though, just give the track to Joba. Like, I know I ragged on him, but gosh, just give it to him. His verse here is actually really nice. It does a much better job of conveying his feelings than the last one. It kind of gives his like thoughts. That opening line is actually like really. It kind of packs a punch. I don't know. What did he say? Was I on your mind when you pulled the trigger or something like that?
When that hammer pulled back, did you think of me?
Yeah, like that. That's kind of rough. Like, I really like his verse here, and I'm glad that we got to see such a vulnerable side over a stripped back beat. But again, like I don't know, it just doesn't quite connect to me the way that I feel like it should. Um, especially Kevin. I don't know, just it's not like he's bad on here. It's not like it takes away from what Joba's saying, but I do still wish that Joba just had the spotlight here because it makes it much more impactful and introspective that way, rather than here's a song about both of our problems, right, guys? Haha. It kind of I don't know lessens the problem of Joba in a way by kind of taking some of the light away from it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I think this song it could have either been because the theme is all these are our struggles, and but in the end, if you hold out, the light, it's there. So I think this could have gone two ways. Either give the track completely to Joba because obviously um, we hear him less than Kevin. We know about Kevin. We know that I don't want to like, and it makes me sound
No, no, we're not
arrogant and
taking away
ignorant.
from his problems.
Yeah, I don't want
It's
to take away
more
from his problems because like obviously his problems, but like the thing is we hear them every single time, and like it would be nice to hear problems from Joba and give the track to Joba, or the other way would be give everyone like their own little verse about where they are mentally, where they where do they see themselves in the upcoming years, because
that would have been a much better closer if they did something like that.
yeah. But yeah, overall I just think just give the track to Joba, um because like I know that Kevin has his problems, but like we know. But yeah, I don't know.
I do
What
want
was
to
in there?
add real quick because I
Uh-huh.
didn't comment on it earlier. This is an awful closer, in my opinion. To start with the song like Buzz Cut and go to this, just kind of I don't know. It's such a strange, incohesive ride, and I don't know why they ended it on this such a kind of sad and
Right, it's like
yeah, like
you come into this album like with all this energy, and at the end you're like, damn, I want to like.
it's like you're a thing of toothpaste and it just kind of squeezes the energy out of you and then you're at this song and it's like you hear the like chorusy beat and you're just like oh I don't know. What do you think, Richard? Are we ragging on this album too much at this point? Are we
Well, with this song, I it's weird, because there's really only like 3 or like 4 songs that touch on Joba's situation. And doesn't make up like that's not a huge part of the record. So I guess it's weird to just end it on the light part too. Because it's not like it's like a satisfying closer to cohesive thoughts. It's really just like a closer to this um I don't know, so this like little mini story within the album. But I don't know. For what it is, I'm grateful that it's on the album and that it's like the last thought on their mind. I'm sure that given that Kevin has said that the second album will fit thematically, I'm hoping that it's a bit more of a good like send off um compared to this. Joba again, the light was his shining moment, and here, he shines again. Really hopeful, um, really hopeful chorus. There's so many times when people, I guess, there's a lot of occurrences where people, attempt suicide, and then they're they they do it and they feel regretful, but it's like almost too late for them. And sometimes people can bounce back from that and they're okay, and sometimes people can't. And that chorus, you know, is really hopeful. I'm sure to like some Brockhampton fans, it really speaks to them. Um, uh, Kevin's Kevin's verse. It starts off pretty rough, I won't lie, but once he gets a bit more introspective, it's fine. You guys are right. I understand not wanting to make the song feel empty, but at the same time, Kevin doesn't really add anything super new. He makes another reference to the RCA deal here, which we've heard about tons of times in the past. He talks about his mom, and it's nice to see. It's nice to hear that the relationship between them is better. But I mean, there's really nothing new here. Joba is really like the sole driver of this song, and I really love his verse here because it's just him fully like reflecting over, what how he feels after he's done it, kind of regretful that he didn't notice anything, and his chorus kind of seems like something he would have told his dad if he were still able to, if he knew. um, I really loved his line, impermanence turned permanent with a 9. That uh yeah, that was a really impactful line to me. But yeah, this I like this song quite a bit. I think it's a good closer.
All right. Well, I guess we can give our final thoughts on the album. I'll go second, and let's go Brandon, me, Richard. That way we don't end on a too negative note. You know, but Brandon, you want to start us off? What are your overall feelings about Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine?
So, I used to be a huge Brockhampton fan back in like high school, and I love the Saturation series, love Iridescence. Ginger was nice. I had high expectations for this album, and for the most part, those expectations were let down. Um, there's a lot of songs that I feel could have been delivered way better. There's just something missing from certain tracks, and I feel like not too many members got their chance to shine. Um, Overall, I was disappointed in this album. Um, but I won't lie, there are some pretty catchy songs here that I did add to my playlist. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they're headed next album. Hopefully it's a little bit more I want to say more fleshed out. Um, but yeah, if I had to give this album a score, I'd probably give it at the very, very best. Like if I was having a fantastic day and just wanted to be nice, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. But for the most part, it's gonna be a 5 out of 10 for me. Um, but yeah, hopefully next album will be better. I think this is their weakest project in my opinion. And yeah, and it's before I finish, and it sucks too because they got some really good features on here too, like Rocky, um, Jpeg, Peggy, Danny Brown. Like because like they don't do a lot of features, and the one album that they do have some like pretty big names, it's just like okay, whatever. But
All right. Well, I'll give my thoughts. Overall, this album was a big letdown, which is hard when I'm not even a fan of these guys. But after hearing that intro track, I actually got excited for a second. And then I pressed play, and my expectations were like thrown in the dirt, spit on, and you know, made me do the Walter White face when you fall to the ground. You know, like gosh. Um, Not a lot of this stuff is redeeming, in my opinion, from their last two albums, which I just did not like at all. I still think Iridescence is hot garbage, and I will like never go back to it. To be fair, so I think this is better than Iridescence. That's for sure. Um, and probably better than Ginger. I didn't care for it either, but even then, like, I would give those like a 1 and a 2 respectively. This is probably, I would say this is probably like a 3 in my opinion. I'm not even like lying. Um, Buzzcut is a phenomenal track, but the fact that it's the opener here just shines light on how inconsistent this album is. You get mood after mood after mood, and they don't know how to organize the track list in a way to have the moods flow into each other and create an experience. It feels more like a playlist akin to More Life than it does an album. As for the individual songs, most of them, again, feel lacking. Chain On should be a great song, in my opinion. I love Jpeg and I love the type of instrumental that it's on, but together, it doesn't work. Bankroll, again, no rocky verse. The verses that are there, not the best. Production, a little sparse. Could be better. Windows, I think that every every member is given their chance there, and it's nice hearing that, but they don't do that enough on the rest of the album. And those are the songs that I like. With the complete utter garbage that's on here, like Don't Shoot Up the Party and What's the Occasion, the awful chorus on When I Ball, it just makes my eyes want to like glaze over and go to sleep for most of this. I see no reason to come back to a good 95% of this album, with the exception of Buzzcut and maybe Bankroll. I don't care for this album at all. I don't think the production is consistent. All the high moments are like detracted by a poor performance elsewhere. Any good production has a bad verse over it. Any good verse has bad production under it. I just, overall, I'm not impressed with this album. I am not impressed with Brockhampton since Saturation. And if the next one, which we're probably going to review once it comes out, is anything anything like this, I'm going to say the exact same stuff about it as well. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to reviewing that now because of this project. I'll say that much. The one thing I will give this album, other than Buzzcut, because I actually think it's a phenomenal track, I'm glad they used features because it broke up the, just hearing them all the time because they're kind of samey. And I will say Matt Champion performed like hell on this album, and I'm so sad that I don't like it for his sake alone because he really, really put in the work to, stand out, in my opinion, from the previous projects. But, yeah, I give it a 3 out of 10. Richard.
Dang.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna say nice things about this album. I think this album came out at a very important time in my life, personally, and so I feel like that's why I have. Well, I mean, I like the songs themselves, but I feel like they have more meaning to me just because of what I've been going through over the past couple months. And so while there's some things that I wish they would have tweaked. I know I mentioned a lot that they should have fixed. Or I guess not fixed, but they should have made some changes to a lot of songs. This is probably one of like the better albums they've released in the last 3 years. Probably close to Well, actually, no. It's better than Iridescence and Ginger for sure. The Saturation trilogy is untouchable. I think it's, I don't know. I was listening back on it, and I just felt like a sense of nostalgia for summer and for my my past years as like a teenager. And that, I feel like for a lot of people, that sort of thing is just untouchable because I mean they were just kids making music, and they just blew up out of nowhere. And I feel like that really plays into it, just how innocent and, crazy and fun it all sounds. But, we've grown up, they've grown up, and this is, the result of everything that they've been through over the past few years, which is crazy to think about. It's only been 4 years since Saturation came out. So, the production all around is really tight. I think it's some of the best they've ever done. Romil, Kevin, Jabari have all worked really hard on this. I do think they're running out of stuff to write about and to rap about, but I think that comes with being in a record deal that forces you to release a lot of music in a short period of time. And I'm sure they've reworked that deal in some capacity. But yeah, I think I think it's a good thing that this next album will be their last for now. I'm sure they'll want to come back in the future, and maybe they'll have something new and fun to share with us. But I'm grateful for what they've given us for now. Overall, I think I'd give this an 8 for sure.
All right. Well, that's our thoughts on the album. You guys in the comments have any thoughts or want to, chew me out for hating it or want to, chew Richard out for liking it? Whatever way you go. Leave a comment. We'll try to read them. That's our thoughts though, and I thank you guys for watching. I know it's a strange, bumpy ride. Normally we talk about albums that we all like. Kind of interesting to hear one that some of us aren't as keen on. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I actually enjoyed this conversation, even if we didn't agree.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, thanks for listening. Catch you guys next week with an album that Brandon's gonna pick for us. And see you guys.
Bye. Later.
Take care, everybody.